18th, 2022, Tuesday. Isaiah 49 verse 8. In an acceptable time have I heard thee. In Genesis 4:26, we find first mention of man calling to God. Since then, man regularly is praying or calling to God. Man prays to God because he knows that God hears. Our God Jehovah is a prayer-hearing and prayer-answering God. Now, for sure, Lord Jesus answers our prayers. Although many times we feel God is not hearing or answering my prayer. As God's people, we must know our God answers our prayers, and He answers in 4 different ways. The first one, He answers immediately. In Jeremiah 33 verse 3 we find, "Call unto me and I will answer thee." Even Isaiah 65:24 reminds us, "And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear." Even in the life of Daniel, we find in Daniel 9:21, Daniel prayed and Gabriel came and touched him. Even in my life, in my early Christian life, when I was young, there was once a youth retreat, and the previous day I was helping in preparation. There were other God servants and elderly people. I was helping them, and I was on the road. During those days, I was suffering with sinus, and if it would rain and if I get wet, I would become sick. And when I was riding that day and it started raining and I started becoming wet, so I prayed to God, "Lord, either you stop the rain or keep me healthy for tomorrow." And God heard me immediately and the rain stopped. So God hears us immediately. And secondly, at the right time, Ecclesiastes 3:11, He had made everything beautiful in His time. So we cannot give a knife to a child of 3 years, or one who is in 10th grade cannot think of marriage. There is a story of an atheist. His name was Brad Laugh, and he used to give lectures, and people would cheer him when he used to talk against God. And one day he was going to come to a town. There were God's people who were praying that he should not come, and their prayer was not answered. That man came, and according to their fixed time, program was arranged, and he came on the stage. But God's people were praying. And this man started moving on the platform, and after some time he said, "I want to speak something, but I am not able to speak." So God answers us at the right time. Thirdly, God takes away the desire. In 2 Corinthians 12:7-9, we find Paul talks about a thorn in the flesh. He had some sickness, and he says he prayed 3 times, but God said, "My grace is sufficient for thee." So, beloved, God many times takes away the desire. And fourthly, in fullness of time. Ephesians 1:10. Our God has a calendar, and He has fixed every event to take place in its time. Christ's first coming was according to God's appointed time. Our salvation also is in God's fullness of time. So, beloved, we must keep praying, and in God's appointed time it will happen. It is said in the life of a man of God, George Mueller, he prayed for the salvation of many souls, Some were saved after he went to be with the Lord. So remember, in an acceptable time we will be heard. Let us continue in prayer and not faint.